Start it.
So I had to rewrite my speech because the other one was so terrible, but it was going to be epic because I made reference to the zombie apocalypse. This one won't have that in there, sorry. So everyone keeps congratulating me on getting my PhD as if I did it all by myself. To borrow from Drake, I started from the bottom and now I'm here. My husband dared me to rap that line, and I'm so glad I did. So I did start from closer to the bottom, but I didn't get here on my own. I had scores of people who invested in my success throughout my life. If any one of them had refused to help me, I wouldn't be here today. Of course I worked hard to get here. No one would deny me that. But often, especially in this highly individualistic country, we tend to focus on the individual who climbed the ladder of success instead of the support rungs of that ladder. When I was born, it was a bit of a family emergency because no one was very confident that my biological mother could take care of me, and it turns out she couldn't. I ended up moving from aunt to grandma back to aunt before finally being adopted at the age of 9 by my youngest aunt Jamie and her husband Chris. My adopted parents were at every musical play, dance recital, track meet, and parent-teacher conference. My adopted mom Jamie used to say, "I expect straight A's. Schoolwork is your job and your report card is your paycheck." My adopted parents love me as much as they love their biological children. My adopted mom used to say, "We chose you. Kayla and Megan, we are stuck with."
Oh.
Every time you get pregnant, it's like rolling the dice. You never know what you're going to get. Sorry, Kayla and Megan. No, don't take good parenting for granted, though. A lot of kids don't experience good parenting or have parents at all. I would know. I studied foster care. I chose to study foster care because in 2008, the program officer at a Central Florida foundation announced that youth aging out of foster care was the next big problem that foundations in Central Florida were going to tackle. 3 weeks later, I found out that I had been in foster care myself. I had briefly mentioned to my boyfriend, who is now my husband, that I couldn't get married if I didn't know where my biological father was. I guess I didn't understand how much my boyfriend wanted to marry me because he went out and found my biological father and drove him to our apartment as a surprise that summer. Surprise! That's when I found out that the state of Florida had intervened about 3 times, and I had spent at least 3 months in care, and at one point no one could find me, and both sides of the family fought to get me back. Not everyone has 4 living parents fighting for her. Not everyone has a boyfriend who finds her biological father so he can marry her. Not everyone gets to run her own dissertation study because she got lucky enough to encounter 0 organizational resistance from the social service provider she wanted to evaluate. Of course I'm successful. I better be. A lot of people invested a lot of time and energy ensuring that I would be. One of the youths aging out of foster care that I surveyed for my dissertation said, "You know, it's inspirational that one of our own went to Columbia. That means maybe we can too. Maybe. If they have support. Kids in foster care need mentors, a place to stay over the summer and winter break, access to their birth certificates and social security cards so they can get driver's license, ID cards, and jobs. Sometimes they have family members steal their identities and ruin their credit. Some have to deal with switching schools several times a year due to placement changes and fall behind. If you manage to make it out of childhood unscarred, never take for granted the privileges you were afforded. They say the mind doesn't register the absence of pain. If you didn't have to struggle with the same kinds of things that these youth aging out of foster care struggle with, then you might take for granted your upbringing and say that you arrived at your successes in life by your own accord. In other words, you did it all by yourself. No, you didn't. You want to know the key to happiness? Being grateful for everything you've been given and everyone who has helped you. I didn't earn my PhD. We earned my PhD. It's the hundreds of people who helped me, coached me, trained me, taught me, mentored me, raised me, educated me, provided opportunities to me, and shaped my worldview that made me who I am. You all should be proud of your accomplishments in earning your degree, but also remember all the parents, partners, professors, and people who enabled those achievements. So family members, friends, colleagues, parents, partners, and professors,